Hello, hello. This is Allie McLean, and I just want to talk to you today about risk and risk during pregnancy, specifically high risk pregnancies. So let's start off. What is risk? This is such a scary word, isn't it? It comes with so much anxiety. And why is that? Now, Webster's dictionary defines risk as a possibility of loss or injury. So, risk is such an abstract way of thinking. The definition itself says the loss or injury hasn't even happened yet. It's just merely the possibility of it happening that creates a risk. So, who defines this term? Well, mainstream maternity care uses this term to decide certain interventions and protocols that each woman should follow. The thing is, though, this term is rooted in fear and the belief that childbirth is dangerous. This term is based on something that hasn't even happened yet. So, who really should be determining who's at risk? Now, I would say the mom, the woman who is birthing. Now, I tell my clients all the time, you're a smart mom. No one cares more about the safety of you and your baby as much as you do. Now, you have the right to be well informed and make decisions that are best for you and your baby. Never have I heard of a woman intentionally making a decision that she believes is harmful for herself or her child. I just have never heard of that. Women deserve to choose exactly how they like to birth. Now, some things that may cause you to be high risk in maternity care is too high of BMI, previous C-section, gestational diabetes, advanced maternal age, and there's so many other complications. Can you think of any? Put them down in the comments below. I'd love to hear why you're considered high risk. Now, there's all of these things can just slap a high risk label right on you, and this label isn't harmless. It comes with a whole slew of extra appointments, suggestions, anxiety. But isn't risk true of anything we do in life? I mean, crossing the street has a risk of getting run over. Eating food poses a risk of choking or getting food poisoning. We risk our lives every time we get in the car to go to the store, or if we're crazy and we want to run a marathon, that poses a risk as well. Now, there's so many restrictions put on women when they have a high-risk pregnancy. Their choices get taken away just in case. For example, you can't eat or drink during labor just in case you need a C-section. You need an IV just in case you start hemorrhaging. You need continuous monitoring just in case a baby's heart starts decelerating. You need to get Pitocin right after delivery just in case you start bleeding too much. Now, this is taking away women's right to informed consent and choose and the choice to choose exactly how she wants to birth. And it's putting that choice into the provider's hands. Now, if I'm high risk, can I blank? I hear it way too often. I can't do blank because of blank. Well, who's telling you this? You're the one defining the risk. This is where maternity care is lacking. Your provider has every right to refuse you care if it goes against their conscience or their own personal risk assessment. But they should not give ultimatums and tell you what you can or cannot do. It's your right to decide for yourself what you would like to do. For example, I hear this too. Oh, you have a breech baby. It's way too risky to have a breech vaginal delivery, so you have to have a C-section. Well, you guys, this just drives me nuts. You get to choose if it's too risky for you and your baby to do vaginal delivery. Instead, your provider should say, I am not well trained in delivering breech vaginally, but here is another provider. Refer on. That way, the mom gets to choose her risk and she has informed consent and she gets to decide. It's her choice. Now, talking about informed consent, and high risk. I believe everything comes down to this: informed consent and autonomy. Now, there's no way to make birth safe. It always has a risk. You can birth in a hospital, at home, in the woods. You can birth if your BMI is 15 or 40. You can birth if you've had a previous C-section or 5. You can birth if you are 15 or 42. Like, you get to decide. So ask yourself, is this a risk that I'm willing to take? Having someone who will walk alongside of you and give you the real risks and benefits of something, and they'll leave that decision up to you, is priceless. If you cannot find a provider to do this for you, then leave and look somewhere else. You can switch providers. It's never too late until baby is born. So that's a basic right that you have. Okay, to sum it all up, risk is relative. You get to decide where, when, and how you birth based on your own personal risk assessment. You get all of the risks, benefits, alternatives of a choice, and then make a decision confidently. And then lastly, find a provider who will give you true informed consent. Okay, if you want more information on things that you need to know during pregnancy to be an empowered mama, click here. Click the link below and take my free course on the top 5 things that every woman needs to know during pregnancy. And I'd love to hear in the comments as well if you were labeled high risk and for what reason.